Good afternoon, viewers, and a very warm welcome back to the QTV by Liz Njoga on this lovely July the 7th, more famous in the East Africa as the Saba Saba. You're tuning in with us from Dubai, and my name is Elizabeth Njoga. Now we'll look at our top stories for the day. UAE is set to receive tourists starting today, July the 7th. And moving on to Kenya, there is a phased reopening for the country as the cases also surpass 8,000. In Ghana, the president on self-isolation after a close aide tested positive for COVID-19. And in DRC Congo, the healthcare workers are on strike following non-payment. Thank you so much for tuning into this bulletin with us. The government of Dubai announced on June the 22nd that Dubai airports will start welcoming tourists and visitors starting the 7th of July, which is today. This would be contingent on the flight schedule from their departure destination. Given the pandemic conditions, there are additional rules to be followed by all those intending to travel or to leave through the United Arab Emirates airports. The visa issuance, as expected, all tourists should get the appropriate entry permit and also have a medical travel insurance before entering or heading to Dubai. Tourists will also register their details on the COVID-19 app, that is the Al Hosn app for the residents and the COVID-19 DXB app upon arrival. Should there be a PCR test? The answer is yes. If you are a tourist intending to travel to Dubai, authorities have asked for a PCR test result certificate which is taken at least 4 days before the date of travel. Authorities also added that in the event a guest or a visitor does not have the PCR test result, a PCR test will be administered at the Dubai International Airport along with the usual thermal screening or the symptoms for the COVID-19. In case you have a negative certificate but displays symptoms of the COVID-19, the test will surely be repeated at the DXB airport. There is also expected to be health declaration and cost forms whereby tourists will have to sign a health declaration form before boarding the plane, while airlines reserve the right to deny entry to people displaying any of COVID-19 symptoms. Tourists are required to sign declaring that they would bear all the cost or treatment in case the need arises while they are inside the United Arab Emirates. If you are leaving Dubai, all tourists must download the COVID-19 DXB app and register their details. They should also adhere to the 14-day quarantine in case COVID-19 test results is positive. And now we move on to Kenya. The President of Kenya, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, has announced phased reopening of the country amid the rising number of coronavirus infections. The President lifted travel restrictions in and out of Nairobi, Mombasa, and Mandera counties, which are some of the regions with the highest coronavirus infection. However, the 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. nationwide curfew remains in place for a further 30 days. Places of worship will reopen with a maximum of 100 participants allowed in a service, which should not exceed 1 hour per session. The President also announced the resumption of local flights starting July the 15th. International flights may resume as of 1st of August with the strict COVID-19 protocols expected to be followed therewith. The President said the country will revert to a lockdown if infection rates worsen. He urged Kenyans to exercise shared responsibility in the fight against the pandemic. Kenya has recorded approximately 8,100 cases of COVID-19, including 160 deaths so far. Now we move on to Ghana. Ghana is West Africa's most impacted nation behind Nigeria. At a point in May 2020, Ghana led the region caseload, and June has started with progress lifting more cases with virus restriction. Ghanaian President His Excellency Akufo-Addo in his 10th address announced that while borders remain closed, some of categories of academic institutions are allowed to resume. Religious places can also reopen with the strict conditions that they will observe on the health protocols. Social gatherings, weddings, funerals, and so on will also be allowed under certain conditions, among others with the maximum participation of 100 persons per session. The number of cases in the country has passed the 20,000 mark, only the fourth African country to be hit with such a figure behind South Africa, Egypt and Nigeria. Ghana has thus consolidated its place as fourth African country that is most impacted with 20,100 cases. Recoveries are about 15,000 while deaths are right now at 122, according to the reports that were issued by the Health Ministry of Ghana last Sunday, that is July the 5th. The President Akufo-Addo is on self-isolation after a close aide tested positive for COVID-19. The information was released by the ministry over the weekend. As the 2020 polls loom, even political activity is allowed to be undertaken in Ghana at the moment. Now we move on to DRC Congo. Healthcare workers are on strike at such a critical time as this. The healthcare workers who are battling the coronavirus pandemic in the Democratic Republic of Congo's capital, Kinshasa, say they will be on strike until they get paid. They last received their salary more than 3 months back. A strike leader said that he has been refused the right to sign contracts despite the risk associated with the coronavirus disease, and the infected doctors or nurses were simply sacked and granted any medical benefits. Thank you so much for tuning into the QTV by Liz Njoga. I have been your presenter, Elizabeth Njoga.